Netflix announces film adaptation of Jamie's book, casting worldwide opens. The announcement that shook the world of storytelling. When Fear Has a Pulse, and So Die became the most purchased memoir in modern history, fans began speculating about one impossible but irresistible idea. Will this story ever be made into film? Most books need years to reach adaptation stage. Most require script development, bidding wars, and studio tug-of-war. Jamie's book needed 4 days. Because the world did not ask for this movie. It demanded it. And when Netflix held a press conference and spoke the words everyone had been waiting for. We are adapting Jamie Dornan's memoir for screen. The internet didn't tremble. It detonated. The project has a name. Netflix revealed the working title, a direct echo of the book but sharpened for cinema. I Was Afraid Too, the film. Not romanticized. Not fictionalized. A true story of fear, masculinity, pressure, and healing. The logline read like lightning. A man tells the truth and the world learns to breathe. Within 3 minutes, the announcement reached 1 billion impressions. No franchise. No superhero. Just honesty, made cinematic. The casting call that broke every record. Netflix made a move nobody expected. Rather than casting immediately, they opened global auditions. Any man could submit. Any age. Any look. Not to play Jamie Dornan, but to play themselves. Because this wasn't just Jamie's story. It belonged to millions. Submission guidelines were unlike anything Hollywood had issued. No acting reels required. Send a video describing a fear you once hid. No scenes, no script, only truth. Within 48 hours. 7 million submissions from 96 countries. 800,000 videos uploaded in the first night. Servers crashed 3 times. Netflix hired 300 temporary staff to review footage. Casting directors didn't want actors. They wanted wounds. Jamie and Dakota are invited to join, but on their terms. Netflix offered both leading roles. Jamie as Jamie. Dakota as Dakota. But only if they chose it. This film wasn't obligation. It was autonomy. Dakota's response shook Twitter. I would only play myself if we tell the truth, not the fantasy. Jamie echoed her. I won't act a mask. I'll act my scars. Fans cried because they understood. This wouldn't be a recreation of screens past. It would be the film Hollywood never thought the world was ready for. A film about fear, love, loyalty, trauma, friendship, partnership, and survival. Amelia Warner's surprising role. When asked privately whether she would support Jamie portraying their most vulnerable chapters to millions, Amelia responded with calm, steady conviction. Stories don't heal if they stay hidden. Not only did she approve, she joined as executive producer and composer. Her music, raw and swollen with emotion, became the spine of the film. Violins like tremors. Piano like breath. Cello like a heartbeat that refuses to stop. Critics would later say, "You don't watch this movie. You feel it." Behind the scenes, the film nobody knows how to make. Yet. Production meetings didn't discuss lighting or costume first. They discussed truth protection protocols. On-set therapists for cast crew. Consent checkpoints during emotionally heavy scenes. Personal story ownership contracts. Script flexibility for spontaneous honesty. The film set did not mirror Hollywood. It mirrored group therapy. Some days Jamie couldn't get through a paragraph without tears. Some days Dakota had to pause filming just to breathe. Some days Amelia sat quietly at the piano, playing comfort into the room. And none of it was cut. Because raw is not retakeable. The world watches production like a religion. Updates became sacred. Photos of Jamie sitting barefoot on a rehearsal floor. Dakota hugging a first-time actor trembling through his story. Amelia recording live orchestra sessions with lights dimmed like dawn. Fans didn't want trailers. They wanted progress. Communities formed. Fear reading groups. Men speak nights. Jamie inspired therapy circles. Dakota dialogue sessions for emotional literacy. This was no fandom. It was a population. Test screening leaves audience unable to leave the room. Netflix hosted a private screening of the first 90 minutes. Nobody clapped. Nobody moved. Nobody even stood. Men cried openly. Women held the hands of partners who finally exhaled. After 12 full minutes of silence, one elderly man whispered, "I haven't felt allowed to be afraid since 1964. And the room wept with him." Jamie was told later, "This isn't a movie, this is a mirror." Release date announced, and the economy shifts. Netflix chose a day the world would remember. February 11th, Global Fear Freedom Day. Named after Jamie's interview broadcast date. Governments announced screenings in schools. Workplaces offered viewing sessions as mental health support. Churches scheduled discussion groups. Gyms replaced protein ads with vulnerability quotes. Hollywood wasn't ready. The world was. And streaming predictions estimated up to 500 million views, opening week. Marvel numbers. Avatar numbers. But this wasn't fantasy. It was truth, and truth had become entertainment's new currency. When the film finally premieres, history breathes. Jamie Dornan steps onto the premiere stage. Not in a suit of power. In a shirt of softness. He doesn't thank directors first. Or Netflix. Or critics. He thanks every man who submitted a video. Every woman who held a breaking partner. Every child who will grow into gentleness instead of silence. Then he closes with a sentence the world will carve into time. Fear has a pulse. And now. So does humanity. The lights dim. The film begins. And the world is changed forever. Not by a franchise. But by a feeling. Not by performance. But by truth.